The CMSC has been running these measurement surveys for the last 2 years, gathering a lot of data on how technicians actually test and measure. And it's been a long-term goal for the CMSC to create the first ever certification program to validate people's proficiency in the use of equipment such as laser trackers and CMMs. Well, we're joined right now by Randy Gruver, who heads up the Certification Committee of the CMS. Randy is going to update us on the status of the long-anticipated program. Randy, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Before we get into what's kind of an update of what's been going on, give us a kind of just a brief synopsis of what the measurement study and the pilot program, what those are all about, what you're trying to accomplish.
Okay. This is kind of a landmark event for us this year. It's a culmination of 4 years worth of effort that the Society has invested in a certification in portable 3D metrology, and that certification has two elements. One is a cognitive element, which is a level 1 certification that we're administering this week. The second is a psychomotor or performance-based assessment, which is the measurement study that's going on behind us.
And what was the purpose of the measurement study?
The purpose of the measurement study is to observe behaviors and best practices or not that are being performed by the volunteers that are participating in the measurement study.
And if I remember from last year, kind of what you discovered is that a lot of people supposedly who really know measurement and how to take measurements maybe don't often perform the job quite as well as they could have.
We're careful not to emphasize that at a personal level. But the data that we've collected over the past 3 years of the measurement study have indicated quite a bit of variation in the data that's been collected. So one could certainly make that leap.
So is that variation between individuals or even variation amongst an individual performing the same measurement?
Both.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And what does that tell us?
It tells us, I think, that there is an opportunity to craft a certification product that's both performance-based and cognitive-based that folks can aspire towards, that really sets a bar and much needed in industry, doesn't exist historically anywhere. Just a really terrific opportunity to promote the performance of people using these sophisticated measurement devices.
I'm sorry, let me jump in there. You had spoken at the plenary session. You presented the status of the program and where we're at. One of the statistics you quoted, which was fascinating to me, was 80% of the people that are doing these tasks learned on the job. There was no formalized path to proficiency or training.
Yes.
That's a really interesting stat.
80%, and that's really typical, and it's unfortunate, and it's not going to serve us well in the future, because the generation of folks using this equipment right now, by and large, had this equipment invented and matured during our professional working lives, so we were able to grow with the equipment. The next generation isn't going to have that opportunity. They're going to be thrust into the arena with extremely sophisticated equipment, not having had a career that matured with the equipment technology. So it's really, the demographics are another challenge we face.
Now, how does the data that you're collecting from the measurement study, how does this now tie into the training and the certification and everything that follows?
Well, the training and the certification are a couple of different elements. The training will support the certification. The certification is a standalone product. We hope to promote among folks that are present at the conference that professionally offer training services, and also within the public academic community, that those folks build the curriculum to support the skill set that will enable a candidate to be a successful certification person.
Okay, so the training could be separate from the certification. You could get training without certification, and that's still valuable because you still have trained people out there.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
One of the other great things that I got from your address at the plenary was the idea of the code of ethics, which is being built into this thing.
Yes.
Really, really important that it's not just about knowing how to use the equipment, it's also understanding how to ethically do your work and what that means for your organizations.
Yep.
You know, can I comment on that?
Absolutely. It's a glaring omission, really, from the profession, and ethics is such an overarching element that everybody needs to adhere to at the highest level, especially in this profession where the quality of the data and the product that you're delivering, with the sophistication of the softwares, there just is an unbelievable opportunity to even inadvertently have data be misrepresented. So I think emphasizing your responsibility to produce the highest quality data is going to be something that we need to, embed in this culture.
I tell me if this is what you're talking about. When we had Keith Bevins on the show quite a while ago, and one of the things that he talked about is that, and maybe this is where the ethics comes in, is you're told that a measurement is supposed to be between 1 and 2. And if it's 1.5, oh, that's really easy. But if it's 1, or if it's 0.999, there may be this tendency to want to call it 1, just because otherwise it's the difference between calling it good and bad. I'd rather call it good. Is that what we're talking about? Kind of ethics is kind of the little fudging here and there.
Yeah, that's a good way to phrase it. And at a more complex level, when you're measuring large artifacts in manufacturing or in an industry, often the lines are very blurred, and there is opportunity. I don't know if fudge the data is accurate, but there certainly is opportunity to manipulate the data to meet expectations rather than let the data tell the story.
Right.
And that's something that I hope culture built around the code of ethics will help to address.
Right, and I'm assuming, this is really an interesting topic. That's why I guess we could talk about this forever. But I'm assuming kind of the idea is that if you don't adhere to a code of ethics, that you really are perhaps impacting the safety of people, because if the piece of equipment that you're measuring has some safety aspect to it and you're not really portraying the data properly, you could actually be setting up a situation that could be dangerous down the line.
Well, we like to think that the processes around data collection would catch that kind of an error or omission, so that it would never actually promote an unsafe condition to exist. More typically, it would promote a costly solution, because you would have progressed through your process, and then you'd have to back up. Having found that there was some error in the data transmission or collection. So it would probably be more expensive than safe. I like to think the safety piece would be caught long before it actually could cause anybody any physical, material harm.
So where are we at now? Where are you at in terms of finishing up, formalizing the training so it can be distributed, and the certification program?
Well, the certification, the cognitive assessment, which is going on this week, all 5 days of the conference, is underway as we speak. I just left the room. We had 62 folks in attendance, which really far exceeded our expectations in any one sitting. Everybody seems excited. We've got all levels and all disciplines, engineers, PhDs, a lot of folks that just use this equipment every day, and just a wide variety of folks participating. So we're really excited about all the energy it's created.
Okay. And the certification program is expected to be done by the end of this year, is that?
Well, the first element was the cognitive assessment that we're performing the pilot assessments for this week. We hope to roll that out commercially, certainly by the end of the year. I like to think sometime in the fall. There's some follow-on elements, the performance-based testing, which is going to be instrument-specific. So portable coordinate measurement machines, laser trackers, photogrammetry, area scanners, hand scanners, spherical scanners, and post-processing of data. Those types of performance-based testing are where our next energy will be deployed, and I would hope that by San Diego next year, we will have laser tracker or PCMM performance-based training as a direct result of the measurement study ready to deploy.
Okay. Well, Randy, thank you for giving us an update on the training and the pilot certification program. Wish you guys a lot of luck. It's really important what you guys are doing. I think this is going to be fantastic for the industry.
Great. Thank you.
Okay. Sure. No problem.
Thanks, Randy. Great.